morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear friends. You are most welcome. I hope you are doing well and you are okay. We thank God for keeping we alive. We are here to preach peace, and we believe that peace is the source of development. And Africa without peace, Africa will continue to be poor. And of course, that's why you see the place where there is a conflict, even though there are resources, those places are still poor. Uh, my topic for today is how the conflict become the tools of exploiting Africa. And this sometimes we can't blame other people. We can blame ourselves. Why we allow this to happen in our continent? Why we allow this to happen in our countries? People will blame other people. Sometimes we Africa to blame ourselves because we are the one who are fighting against each other. And this conflict always occurred in the place where there is resources. We have seen, do your own research and you will recognize that the place where there is a resources is a place where there is a conflict. As you talk about conflict, you are talking about the areas such as some areas in Congo. You know that Congo is a richest resource countries in Africa and in the world. Go to Nigeria, there in the northern, is a part where there is a lot of oil. People are still fighting there. If you go to Libya, the same thing. If you go to northern Mozambique, when they discovered oil and natural gases. If you go to South Sudan, there's a lot of oil. When these resources has been discovered, some of people who don't have a goodwill with Africans and our people, they create their own labels, and these labels take some mines in some places where there is a minerals, and they they own those places because there's a fighting there. So the government, it is difficult to go there to collect revenues. So then the people or those people who are engaging in conflict starting to exploit or to do some activities, especially in exploiting these resources, starting digging and mining our minerals. At the same time, they go to sell these these minerals and resources at a very low price because they didn't pay tax, and sometimes because they don't have a time to engage in other activities, so they sell to other companies or at a low price. So ask yourself, who is going to buy these minerals? Is companies from outside of the continent. So we sell to them at low price, and sometimes we exchange those resources with food, with medicine, and sometimes with weapons, because we don't have a time to engage in agriculture to get food. So we are forced to exchange these resources with the foods so that we can survive. So you look how looking of Africa resources is very, 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 very difficult to handle. So that's why I say we need to come together as Africans. If there is a peace, we can understand how much we have get, how much we have sold, and how we are benefiting. But at that time of conflict, it is very, very difficult. And sometimes people are given weapons and to exchange with their resources. That's the main thing that is done in Africa. So we allow ourselves to be manipulated. We allow ourselves to exploit our resources. As I said, that we don't need to blame other people. We need to blame ourselves. We engage in this conflict. We take some places, or sometimes we fight to get some mines. At the same time, because we are fighting, it's very difficult for our government to go there to collect revenues and even to recognize how much we get from those mines, and how the people, how there's no exact data on how we get from our resources, how our resources has been sold. It didn't make sense to tell the people that the small group are so stronger than the government. It doesn't make sense. So these groups have been sponsored, and we can blame ourselves because we allow this to be happening in our countries and our continent, and we Africans who are fighting each other. So this is how we exploit our resources, because we don't have money to maybe to buy something. So we exchange our resources or our minerals with weapons to fight each other. So those minerals or resources didn't pay taxes. The government didn't recognize how much we have get, how much we have been sold. So at the end of the day, Africa is exploited by we Africans, our own. Some people will say we are sponsored. Yes, we are sponsored. But why we accepted to be sponsored? Why we accepted to fight each other? Because these conflicts that we engage become the tools of exploitation of our resources. Because at that time of conflict, we sold our resources at low price. We sell these resources to get weapons, or sometimes we exchange these resources with weapons to fight against each other. Why? So that's the question we must ask ourselves, and we must understand that if we continue with this conflict in our mother continent, Africa, we are continuing exploiting our own resources. So we are the parts who are exploiting this continent, because the people who are engaging in this mining, obvious, are we Africans. You can say maybe some companies are coming with their tools, with their capital, so and so, but who accept these is Africans. We have readers, we have people who looking what is going on, and what is so bad is that is we Africans raising against Africans, fighting against Africans. So when we are fighting, the people just taking what they want to take, because we don't have time to look on our resources. We have a time in engaging in conflict. So that's why I preach peace, that Africa, we need to have peace. Peace will bring us together. Peace will make we strong, and peace will never make us weak, because as we unite, we become strong. And that's what I preach, obvious. And I want to understand that we Africans, the day we stop these conflicts, that's the day Africa will raise up. And some people will ask, we need peace. Maybe these companies are not fighting each other. It's we Africans who are fighting each other. So we are fighting for places of of resources. We are fighting in our areas where there's the resources. So we say some company are sponsoring. So it's our mind. We need to change our mind. Why other people didn't fight? Why Chinese are not fighting in China? Why Japanese are not fighting in Japan? Why Germany are not fighting in Germany? But Africa, we are fighting each other. Let us bring peace. Let us come together. Don't allow people to fight in our continent. Let us bring peace. Peace will bring prosperity. Thank you.